Hi everybody, and welcome to my outside studio. I have been wanting to film outside now for a while, but the weather has been kind of weird and bad. It's been windy or rainy or both, and but now it's really nice. It's the middle of August, and these are gonna be the last couple of nice weeks of the summer here before the fall comes. And one thing, if you're dreaming about this beach digital nomad style life where you see these pictures that people work remotely from all these nice locations, I really can't recommend that, because you can't see anything outside if you are working on your laptop. Basically what I'm doing is I have my computer is recording the voice, because I bought this microphone that I think is very well, but it doesn't plug directly into my phone, which I use as a camera. Well, it actually does, but it doesn't work directly. So me just being able to press the record button here in the sunlight is it's surprisingly hard. So forget about that, working on the beach with the computer. That's not gonna happen. But what I wanted to talk about today is time, and how I have been thinking about time, and how it is the most valuable thing there is, and how we kind of forget that often. And so let's start by what happened to me recently. So I ended up quitting my job, and I worked in the IT industry for 12 years roughly, and for the past couple of years I started to think about time. And I was looking a few years ahead. Let's say, so I'm 39 now, so let's say I continue working in the IT industry. Maybe I get a new job, get a new role, get more salary, something happens, but let's say I'm 45, so 5 years from now, and I look back at the last 5 years and what has happened. Somebody asks me, "Hey Tuomo, how has your life been? We haven't seen you in a while. How is work? How has work been? What have you done?" So I was thinking, what would my answer to that question be? And I don't think I would have a great answer to that. I guess I would have just said, I've been, doing stuff, work, and yeah, well, that's basically it. So for me, it started to feel like I'm not really accomplishing anything. It felt very, very empty. And also just the fact that I'm staring at the screen every single day, where, truth be told, nothing exciting really happens. And that started to feel like I'm wasting my time doing this. I could be doing so many other things, but here I am staring at the screen where nothing important really happens. Everything that kind of feels good and matters happens outside the screen. And yeah, for sure, there were cool people in different companies I used to work, different personalities, fun people, really goofy, exciting people, and from there I have good memories. But it was the people, it was not the job, because the job was always on the screen. So I I kind of liked a lot of things around that, but then when I had to stare at the screen and do something, it was just feeling like painful almost. Like I really don't want to do this. And so that was one of the things that I guess that it was building up and led me to quit eventually. And but I want to talk briefly about this. I've been reading this book called Some Days Today, and the short version, I'm now halfway through, is that the writer basically values time above everything else, and he has this rough story in the beginning where he was basically working in a restaurant and he was robbed, and it was really heartbreaking to read, but he was basically forced to lay on the floor with the gun pointed at his head, and he was sure that was gonna be the end. And when it wasn't, after that he made sure not to waste any time in his life, because he had this experience and he realized that time is really the only thing that matters. It is the most valuable thing you can have. And I haven't had that kind of experience or anything close, but maybe I started to have similar thoughts of my own about working this grind and just feeling like I am wasting time basically. So this guy really has optimized everything to the even to the extent that I don't think it's doable for most people or any of us, and it doesn't have to be, but it has given me some ideas on time and how it really matters. And as a side note, maybe if this sounds like just speaking about time, that I'm in some sort of privileged position to do this. For sure, I do have plenty, and I'm trying to realize that every day. I have this beautiful property, I have this beautiful house, and I have a lot. I really do, but still I was feeling completely empty and anxiety all the time working in the IT, and also like I don't have a lot of money. I have all the things I need and more, but now that I'm unemployed, I have money maybe to last me for 3 months or 4 months tops. So, and then it's gonna run out. So I have to start doing something quite fast. And I do have a mortgage on my house, and so I'm quite well off, but not rich by any means. I mean, financially not rich. So just to want to put that out there. And another thing that the writer speaks about the book is, well, the book is it's a self-help book, and there are no shortage of those, and I've read many of them, and some of them are good, some of them are not so great, and they repeat some similar things over and over. But I think when you read any self-help, you always pick something, right? Because the writer is a different person than you are, so obviously you can't copy everything, but you can kind of feel that, hey, that sounds something I could do, that sounds something I could think of. So for example, there's a chapter about sleep that I kind of skimmed through. I didn't learn much new about that. I know the importance of sleep, and I really focus on that also. But there was one thing that focused on time that I haven't thought about, or I haven't thought about it in that way before. So I mentioned that I have been thinking my life a couple of years ahead, 3 years ahead or 5 years ahead, and how my life would look like if I was there and watching back. But here there's the idea of think further ahead. Think about if you're 100 years old and you're looking back at right this moment and what you're doing. Is that what you're doing really important? And is that what you're doing now important when you're close to the end? And if you think like that, many things really do change. Like we focus on this, I do also, we focus on these tiny things, and we spend a lot of time focusing on these tiny things when in the end they don't really matter. And you know that people matter, and spending time with people that really matter to you. So obviously that should be a clear priority to you and me. But this idea that if I live to be 100 years and I look back at my choices and how I did spend my time, it kind of makes sense. And like now I think about work and what I was doing, we focus on tweaking these presentations, and we can spend hours tweaking the fonts and how everything is set up in this beautiful PowerPoint presentation. And after you made the presentation, nobody remembers. Nobody will remember that presentation anyways. And then we tweak everything, and we spend a lot of time, at least I did, I can admit to that, like thinking about how should I write this email. Is this chapter gonna look okay? What's the person gonna think when I send it, and he's gonna read it? Is this gonna be okay? Do I need to tweak this or write this in different words, explain this differently? So we're spending an enormous amount of time doing all these little tweaks here and there when they really don't matter, right? And we all have different perspective and different things that bring us joy. So like for me, I cannot copy everything that is here, but I now have some new perspective on things, and I can think about my life and what I am doing and what really gives me value. And it's probably always gonna be a balance between things, but we can make those choices. And I am going to be for sure from now on thinking about time differently and how I can add value to my life and to others by using my time wisely. And I guess that's everything I wanted to say, really. And I will probably film more outside if the weather permits. It should be okay now, and I hope the sound is okay. I know the sun is going to be bothering the video probably a little bit, but it is just nice to be outside, and being here is valuable. I know I am spending my time very well right this moment when just being outside instead of being inside and watching YouTube or something silly like that. And I hope you enjoyed this and appreciate you watching this, and see you later in the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.